Your gavel.
Is that recording? I've been advised that I need to do this. Good evening. Welcome to this work session for the Urbanna Town Council, April 23rd. Let's have a call to order. Mr. Tuning.
Here.
Ms. Courtney.
Here.
I'm here. Mary Hanson.
Here.
Beth Justice.
Here.
Robbie Wilson. Here. Having a quorum, virtue of us is not going to attend. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We don't have anything that's debating electronically. Moving on. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving on to public comment. Got anybody? We do not. Okay. All right, Mr. Costin, over to you. Work session matters.
So your first item this evening is a presentation from Terry Santos, Executive Director of the Middlesex County Public Library. The town supports the Middlesex County Public Library with an annual donation of $10,000 from the Tabor Fund, the waiving of water usage fees at the Urbanna branch, and providing the Marshall Community Pool for the summer reading program celebration at no cost. This is really a no impact presentation. It's just basically an update on some of the activities, and I will turn it over to the team.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having me. My name, as he said, is Terry DeSantis. I am the Executive Director of the Middlesex County Public Library. And I just wanted to give kind of an informational overview of what we are, what we do, and some of the resources that we have. All right, so you guys probably know we do have two branches. We have the one here and one down in Deltaville. The building down in Deltaville was originally built in the 1970s. It was a pharmacy. And in the early 90s, it was converted to a library. The one building here in Urbanna was also built in the early 90s and as a library. Yeah. And interestingly enough, the two buildings are very different, but there's only about 20 square feet difference in the area of both of them. So they are very similar in size, even though they are very different looking buildings. So in 2024, we added the mobile library, and I'm sure you all have seen it parked right outside of the Urbanna branch here. So with the mobile library, we've been able to go to all of the farmers markets here and in Deltaville. We use it to, right now, year round, we go to Porttown Village twice a month. We just started going to Riverside, the rehab center in Saluda, and then also Dockside Assisted Living. In the summers, we take it to the YMCA for the summer camp once a week. We also go to Horizons Daycare once a week. And we do, different projects and events like the Christmas parade here, to the Juneteenth celebration, fall festivals, that sort of thing. So, and I just wanted to also introduce Hilton Snowden. He is our, yep, so he is our van driver. So he's the one that will be behind the wheel and taking it everywhere around the county.
Thank you.
So I know everybody likes numbers. So these are just some of our stats from our previous fiscal year. So our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So as you can see, we had over 20,000 physical item checkouts. We had over 15,000 visits. And another very interesting thing is those checkouts and those visits, year after year, they're pretty evenly divided between the two branches. It just, year after year, that's kind of just how it happens. We do end up having more public computer use here in Urbanna than in Deltaville, but we get more program attendance down in Deltaville. And that's, to be honest, that's probably because we have a dedicated meeting room down in Urbanna that we can use for those programs. Okay. So these are just a few pictures of some of the events and people that we have. We do host, workshops like art workshops, crafting workshops, poetry workshops down in the Deltaville branch. We also host local authors like Larry. And then in the summers, we will have special performers come to the YMCA just because the YMCA has the space for them. As you can see, he's on a big unicycle. We also have, arts and crafts during the summer for the kids. And as you can see, last year we tried out these straw bale gardens, and that was a huge hit with the kids. And if you have been by the library, you can see that we are prepping straw bales again for another garden this year. Okay. I just wanted to point out a couple special collections that we do have. So here in Urbanna, we house our Virginia Reference Collection. So if you come into our front doors and just hit straight, you'll see to the left, you will see some glass-fronted cabinets, and that's where we have this Virginia Reference Collection. So they're rarer books, primarily about Middlesex County, but also the surrounding areas, and a bit of, Virginia in general. Family histories, some colonial records, military records, that sort of thing. It very closely mirrors what's at the Middlesex County Museum in Saluda, but we have better hours, so people can come in and see them. These books, we do not allow people to check out, except in very special circumstances, but they're welcome to use them in-house. Down in Deltaville, we have the Chesapeake Bay collection, and that's basically, that can be checked out. And it's everything Bay related. So cookbooks, history books, science, anything about sailboats and powerboats, novels centered around Chesapeake Bay. And that is pretty popular with our boaters down there. Okay. Another major part of our services is our website. So our website is yourmiddlesexlibrary.org. If you haven't been on it, I highly suggest you go poke around in it. It's pretty interesting. So obviously you can get to our catalog from there, but we also have all of our digital resources there. So we have a lot of databases. Our most recent one that we just acquired was called Canopy, which is a streaming video platform, and it's totally free. All you have to do is type in your library card number and you get right to it. So that has award-winning movies, documentaries, TV series like from the BBC and things like that, and a lot of educational kids videos as well. So I highly suggest, go to our website, explore it. We also have, other digital resources like Ancestry, Library Edition. We have other genealogy resources, digital resources on there. And of course, you can also get to our ebooks from our website. We use the Libby platform, which you all might be familiar with. Okay. And so this is the last thing. I just kind of wanted to show what we're looking at towards the future. This is our strategic plan. As you can see, so it goes through 2027. So the first service area is basically internet access. And we've kind of tackled that with, we have a hotspot on our mobile library that does get used. We also have Wi-Fi that extends out into our parking lots. And then obviously we have purchased new public computers so that people can use those, and a lot of people come in and print from their phones or their laptops, bring their own laptops in, and they can print to our printer, because I know a lot of people, your printer at home always kicks bucket when you really need something printed. Our other service areas is basically concerning physical spaces and then learning or programming. One thing we want to emphasize now is services and spaces for teens. We do have young adult collections, books for teens, but we don't really have a good place for them to kind of sit and relax, So that's kind of what we're working on right now. Hopefully this summer we'll be able to purchase some furnishings, and we're going to start down at the Deltaville branch, just because it has a little bit more room where we can, move things around and make it all cute. Urbanna, just because of the configuration of the building, is a little bit harder to move things around. But we also do plan on trying to get some more programming for teens. I was able to actually meet with some teens back in January and February, to kind of get their ideas of what they wanted. And one thing that really came up was just a book club for teens. So those are some of the things that we're working on. On the other side, we're also looking at meeting spaces for adults or really all ages. We do have a meeting room down in Deltaville, and it does get used quite a bit. But here in Urbanna, we don't really have a good meeting room. What we use is kind of our reading room area, but because we have the vaulted ceilings, everything echoes and everybody can hear everything that's going on. So we're the board and I are kind of looking at what are our options for possibly getting a new meeting room, whether it is building to the side, adding onto the building, going up. I don't know, but we're trying to explore our options right now. And then I'm just saying this because this is years down the road right now. But I think that it is something that, our patrons here in Urbanna would appreciate and would use. Our meeting room, like down in Deltaville, it's not just for library related programs. We also have people come in, HOAs use it for their regular meetings. We also have lawyers will come in and do depositions in there. Sometimes if people have a Zoom call that they have to do, they can, shut the doors and actually do it right there in our meeting room.
Do government councils meet in there?
No. Sorry. Although we did have, I believe, what was it, last year when we had the public meeting about the solar farms?
There you go.
Yeah, that one was a little over the top because we were bursting at the seams. Yeah. That was a little much, but, but it definitely served its purpose. So, so now I want to open up for any questions that you all have for us.
Just the struggle to get to where we are has been phenomenal. When you look at the history of Hawaii, and the dedication of so many people that have made it happen.
Yeah.
And you're doing a wonderful job.
No, thank
We
you.
don't want to ever see you leave Urbanna.
Thank you.
We want you right here.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, and just in case you didn't know, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We're not actually part of the county, although we get funds from the county and obviously from the town. But a lot of our funding comes from private donors. Yeah.
Is that where most of it comes from?
I'm sorry?
Private donors, most of your funding comes from
Not most. I would say about a third or so.
corporate.
No, not really.
You get state money, don't you?
We do
State-
get state money.
Any federal?
Just in the form of E-rate for internet access, and that's only about $3,000 a year.
You still get, I set the computers up over there when that place opened, you still get the Gates, the Gates Foundation gave, like.
No,
all of the
not
stuff
anymore.
that-
That's
Oh,
all.
wait.
Yeah. But yeah, we do get grants like through River County's Community Foundation and a couple other smaller grants. So, in case as you might have seen, we actually got a grant for the push button automatic door opener in the front door. So that was through, like I said, through a grant. And it's been a big hit.
You have Larry Chune's books in there?
Oh, absolutely.
Make sure of that.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for Rich too. Thanks for remembering the teenagers.
Thank you. And we do have copies of our April newsletter and also a couple flyers about a couple of our upcoming programs. One is from the Master Naturalists down in Deltaville. They're going to do kind of a presentation on local pollinators or native pollinators and that sort of thing, May 2nd. And then in June, we're going to have a tote bag workshop. So you actually create your own canvas tote bag, like sewing it and everything.
Oh, that's sweet.
So feel free to come by and we can give you all of these. Great.
Thank you so much. Very informative.
All right.
With all right. All right. So the next item on the work session agenda is an update on the bridge. At your last meeting, I advised you that the Planning District Commission received $450,000 of a no-match grant for engineering towards the permanent repair of the bridge. All right. Following is in your documentation. Following is two paragraphs that's actually in the notice of award email. I want to explain that if it's in parentheticals, that's my explanation of what they mean. When they say you, they meant the PDC. Okay? The PDC was the applicant, they're the awardee. We're just the secondary recipient. Okay? The second paragraph where you see underlining, that's from the federal entity, the U.S. Department of Transportation. Okay? So after receiving the award notice, the PDC did accept the award. They had 3 days to do that. Now, within the notice of funding opportunity, that's called a NOFO. You have to know it's called a NOFO, which is issued along with the opening of the application process. There's about 2 pages of post-award information. There's nothing particular that is specific to this that is out of the ordinary. The language says to do nothing until a project start date is established by the awarding entity, that's U.S. Department Department of Transportation, and the recipient, that's PDC. That's in line with the notice email that PDC received. All purchases must meet federal standards and be pre-approved. American products are preferred, no discrimination allowed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everything that you might expect to have to go through for the awarding of federal grant funds. And again, these are typical items. The specifics, you'd have to go into the Code of Federal Regulations to really get down into the specifics. But at this point, there's nothing really specific to this project that's tangible. Now, there's been conversations as proceeding with the geotechnical assessment now for use in a temporary solution and then later using the same geotechnical assessment for a permanent solution. That question was put to the PDC, passed to the U.S. Department of Transportation, and we've gotten an answer since this document was prepared. If council so chooses, you can do that, but reimbursement is not feasible. That means you won't be reimbursed because it's ahead of the agreed award start date. I also took the same question into the staff of Representative Whitman's office and got the same answer. Essentially, because we're going to the same agency, the U.S. Department of Transportation. It's just through two separate programs. And again, that process is nowhere near complete. I did get an update from them. If you remember, I said when we put this application in, the representative had was limited to putting in 15 projects. You put in ours as one of his 15, so we know that. Okay. Now where it goes from there is to House Appropriations, House floor, and then it crosses over and does the same thing on the Senate side. Okay. I think you all have heard the phrase, the longest journey starts with the first step. We're on about step 2. Okay. We got a long way to go. I also want to let you all know that both the Oyster Festival and the Friends of Urbanna have both made inquiries or requests to cross over the bridge, use the marina for Founders Day, obviously for the Oyster Festival, and they've been told no, because we just can't guarantee that anything will be in place come August or November. Fiscal impact, we've covered this before. The staff recommendation is basically you all need to decide if you want to retain someone and then for what purpose. And that's basically where you're at. Do you want to wait a while or do you want to try to get something started? I'd be happy to take any questions.
And that really is the dilemma, because right now we're sort of on our own dime. And it's at this point, we've got verification that that's an assurance that anything that we would commit if we hired Evans to oversee some stuff, do geotechnical stuff. Anything that we did would be out of pocket.
Yeah, absolutely, it's on our own money.
And I don't know how much that speeds up certainly at this point, it doesn't speed up the process much. 3 months from now, it's going to speed, we may look back and say we should have started this earlier, but
we won't know until we know.
Right.
And we don't know anymore. That I talked to you Monday.
Nope.
So
this is what I've given you verbally in addition to what's on paper is stuff that I've gotten this week.
you don't. Is there like a typical time frame? 90 days, 120 days.
I've been reminded by the PDC staff. We applied for that grant in September.
Yeah, you see the
Told it was going to be December,
Yeah.
and it was April. So the wheels of government turn slow.
In thinking back about timeframes, because it seems to me that the thing that would cause us to do anything, spend any funds prior to pursuing a permanent bridge, which these grant funds will cover to some extent, right? And the only thing that would cause us to do that is if it sped things up enough that we would get some use out of the bridge before the end of November. But from what I remember from Evan's from Scott Evans' presentation, it doesn't look like no matter what we did, we'd have something during that period of time.
I asked him, and he answered my question with a question. He said, "How much revenue are you going to lose if that marina stays closed? Is it enough to justify it?" I said, "Probably another idea, and I went to them about it, I haven't got any answers. What if we just put the golf cart, or pedestrian bridge, if we just get golf carts there? And I tell you, that's coming from me, because I've been going down there, cooking propane, cutting grass, and just be able to carry that stuff on my golf cart trailer, would be great. So I asked him, I don't know, that's probably not even a reasonable thing, but my thoughts on this right now is we wait on this grant. See when it's gonna come. We get the grant money, start the engineering on the permanent bridge.
Right.
And we can investigate some sort of temporary option, but realizing that that is gonna come out of our own dime. And if those engineers come back and say, you've got to have a geotech survey that we're back to install that, we're not gonna wanna spend our own money temporary.
Right.
For something we're gonna get reimbursed for the permanent.
Right, and on the temporary, it goes back to some of those options like the logging bridges that'll hold a considerable amount of money. The question is whether BRS will insure us if we put it in there, even for just golf carts.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be like a sub-project, a temporary would be like a second sub-project. I don't want to see us jeopardize our grant for the engineering in any way. This covers,
I agree.
This covers the engineering.
Right.
The permanent bridge.
Right, and I agree with you 100%. We could end up spending all of the study of money and end up not being able to use anything in the grant.
Right. See, I guess my other question is, the geotechnical is the geotechnical. Is it fundamentally different for a permanent bridge than it is for a temporary bridge? I wouldn't think it would be.
No, I asked. He said it's
Yeah.
going to be the same information. It may or may not depend on what you wanted to put in as a temporary solution. Right?
Well, any idea what the temporary solution to get the golf carts over there?
Yeah, but that's still not really going to, as far as our finances go, it's not going to affect our finances positively anyway. The boat ramp's still going to be closed. And anybody that's trying to seriously move stuff to their boat that's in a slip holder is not going to be able to do it.
There you go.
You know, it's just an idea. It makes life a little bit better down there, but it doesn't fix the real problem.
Well, getting the engineering grant is huge.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been to these meetings and talking about grants. If you get one grant, there's a good possibility you're going to get a second grant.
Right.
And also, if they give you half of enough to do one thing, 1 year and you do half, there's a good possibility you can get the other half down the road
To finish it.
to finish it. Yeah, my feeling is we need to wait and see
Okay.
what's going on with this.
I think we're all on the same page.
Right.
Is the bridge closed to golf carts and?
It's closed.
For everything.
It's open for pedestrians. It's
Right.
closed
Yeah.
to
One of
golf carts.
my questions
Open for pedestrians, closed to golf carts.
to Ted and Bill last week is, if that is the way that we go, if we decide that we're gonna have to wait, I think we need to come up with, ideas on what we can offer to people. Like, for instance, we can't have golf carts. Can we get marina carts? Can we get marina carts that are placed on, on this side of the bridge so that people can unload their things and they can haul them to their boats?
They have
Can
one
they?
down there.
Well, if they have one is probably not enough.
One of those little dog carts.
Yeah, but can we do that? Can we, what kind of public information campaign can we put out about what we can do down there, what we are doing down there, instead of, oh, they're just not doing anything? Yeah, so I don't know, but I think we need to seriously think about it, because I think there are some things that we could do, so we're gonna have to get creative about that.
If I can, the mayor and I discussed one day about going down there and getting, like, if you will, community meetings of the slip holders down there,
Yeah,
and just saying, okay, this is what we've done, this is how much money we've got coming in, when it's coming, we don't know.
Right.
This is what the application. We appreciate y'all's cooperation, but you're gonna have to continue to keep cooperating.
well, I think we need to be able to tell people, I don't know, even if it's a sign, where is the closest public boat ramp? I mean, it's probably in Saluda.
Yeah.
Right, and so, but, that kind of thing, so that people aren't left with nothing, just a frustration. But slip holders meeting is a great idea.
Also, I flew over that stack at Reedville today, and they raised a whole bunch of money down. They had like stack fest. And they have to have bridge fest.
Bridge
Yeah,
fest.
fest.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you? Oh, okay. Yeah, bridge path. Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We don't know. The one thing about getting the engineering done is they will then know all these questions we have. I keep asking, can we put in a conduit? Culvert? And all those get answered when we get that engineer back.
Right.
But
We have a lot clear path.
if we can get a path forward to go ahead with the geotechnical study, as part of the grant, then we're that much further ahead.
Right. I guess we wait. Correct. Unless it's gonna be 6 months or a year, and then I think we're gonna come back and have to make a tough decision.
Well, and I think, so let's say that we decided today that we want to go pay out of pocket for a geotechnical study. Where the funds going to come from?
It has to come out of reserves.
Yeah, I think that it's not like we just don't want to spend money.
And I hate to say it, I guess my point earlier was that there's not enough driving reason down there for us to, it's not an emergency.
Right.
To me, that's the kind of thing you do if we had, God forbid, a massive water break or something. It's
Right.
really affecting
Right.
the town.
Right.
This is a park.
This is
That I care about.
enjoyment, and it's an important part of our enjoyment. And we need to pull together as best we can to try to get through it.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Personnel.
Well, let me discuss the shade. Bit of a misunderstanding. So this matter will not be presented.
Okay.
The attorney has asked that we consider putting on the meeting for the first meeting in May.
Okay.
We've got, I know we're going to have a pretty busy agenda. We've got 2 zoning cases, public hearing or recodification. I don't know what else will come up, but
Could we postpone it to the working session in May, because I won't be here until the working session. I just a thought. It's not like I have to.
we probably have some
I'm part
budget
of that
stuff to do
committee.
then at that time, but I see no reason why not.
Does it impact somebody? That a month's gonna make a difference?
No.
See, I don't know what you're talking about. so.
Personnel policy.
The
Oh,
one that,
personnel
the
policy.
update that we've been working
Yeah,
on
you,
for months
you
and
need to
months.
be here for that.
Okay.
Actually, we got the approval of the minutes first.
Oh.
So we have minutes presented from April 9th. Thank you, Christine, for having them so promptly done.
Yeah. I move to approve the April 9th minutes as presented.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
All right. Alana gets the nod.
Yeah, so we're just kind of lost now.
With a mouth on.
From waiting for her to say something.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now, public comment 2.
No one signed up.
No one signed up. Okay, announcements. Mr. Tuning?
I have nothing on that.
Good for you. Alana?
I have nothing.
Thank you.
The only thing that I will announce is a reminder regarding the volunteer appreciation event. Can someone clarify that for us? I know we have some of that volunteers in the room.
Tomorrow, noon, Tabor Park. Pizza, drinks, cookies, certificates. Signed by the mayor. You could read his signature.
Ooh,
I use my special.
you're not.
All right, Bobby, anything? Beth?
I'm still working on 4th of July. I'm gonna be meeting with Ted soon. I say you've been really overwhelmed, so when you have a little time, we'll get together and sit down.
Right after the budget. So
Right after, yeah, the
we'll have
budget,
3 days
right now,
to plan.
the budget,
Now, I know you've
there's
been.
been so many fires to put out that at this point, until the budget gets passed, that's gonna be priority.
It's okay, those
Number one.
pinholes still down.
Okay. I don't think we have anything for a closed meeting, right? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Good for you.
Yay, Alana.
All in favor?
Bye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.